What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Assemblage 23, and this is also a tune in the We Save Us playlist, curated by Kim, contributed to by Yvonne and Michaela, and this one comes from Tom's upcoming album, No 2025. It's going to be released early next month, and I'm very thankful to Kim not only for letting me know it was coming out, but for making a donation, which allowed me to immediately go and pre-order a copy, and not just any copy, but an autographed copy. Indeed, you can go on the Assemblage 23 website and order a vinyl or CD that will be autographed. So I'm very excited to have a physical release in a few weeks of one of Tom's albums. Obviously, I'm farther back in the chronology in his larger discography, but yes, I'm looking forward to it. In the meantime, we can listen to Tolerate from Null, and as Kim has been doing, she's paired this song with a Tears for Fears lyric, one that comes from one of my favorites from them, certainly in more recent times, which is to say the track My Demons from The Tipping Point, and the lyric is, "We're not one of you, you're not one of us." And Kim's note on this one was a series of questions. What do we do when friends and family find themselves on opposite sides of a political divide? To what degree do we put one of those concerns over the other? Is there any chance for significant reconciliation if people who are close to us, friends and family, hold opinions and attitudes that are starkly opposed to our own? So yes, I wonder if this song will give us any definitive answers, or if it will also be an exploration of these questions, and I imagine it's the kind of question that will depend on circumstance and your particular disposition, and there will be different answers for different people. And again, I feel like they're, for my own opinion on the matter, even though it's not particularly an issue for me, meaning most of the people in my personal life certainly have, let's say, an urbane and or pluralistic type of attitude, but at the end of the day, I am aware of people who have eventually cut off people in their extended family because they're just, either belligerent or constantly haranguing or, verbally abusing people because they have a different opinion. So yes, in an era that is especially polarized, I feel like these types of questions and these potential answers are all the more prominent and relevant. So let's see what Tom has to say about it. This is Assemblage 23. The track is Tolerate, and it's from his upcoming 2025 album, No. Woof.
Regrettably complete. Yourself shown to the world, you're on a set ablaze. I think we've reached the point in time when you and I part ways. I don't care, don't understand you. You show me who you are. The harm in you in your beliefs is a burning bridge too far. I can't survive the biggest rain. I can't survive the hate. There's a limit to what was all around. It settles the tidal wave. Opposing viewpoints are developing in themselves. They form the means by which humanity's rebelled. One's point of view steps on somebody's neck. It looks a lot like prejudice, and then I must react.
Yes. I mean, it's amazing. It's one of my favorite from him so far, and I feel like I've probably said that in half of the Assemblage 23 reactions I've heard, meaning like every tune of his, right up into the present apparently, it's such a mixture of dynamic, electric sonics, poetic lyrics, but also incisive ideas and perspectives. And not only is he a very talented musician, but I think he's got an incredible ethical compass and sees things in a very admirable way. And I completely agree with this sentiment here. So I do think there's some definitive answers. And of course, I'm inclined to wonder whether this is autobiographical related to someone in his life, or maybe a composite of different people in his life. And again, in my world, there's a few people here and there who hold notably different views from me, but by and large, there's a lot of people in my friends and family who are kind of looking in the same direction, shall we say. So it's not something I've dealt with very directly. But again, I do know some people who've had to draw the line, and it sounds like that's what Tom is doing here. And not only, is he saying, look, it's one thing to have different points of view, and I fully agree with him that, look, that's actually how humanity can be propelled and progress and come to a consensus by finding the valid points of view or the valid aspects of different points of view, and on some level agreeing on certain principles, or at least compromising on certain principles, even if there might still be some agreeing to disagree. But he's saying, if you go beyond a certain threshold, a burning bridge too far, I love that phrase, a bridge too far, but a burning bridge where you can't ever go back to the other side, he's saying, then we're going to have to part ways. Look, I can't abide the hate. I can't abide the bigotry. And if you go so far that suddenly we're talking about genuine prejudice, then that's not for me. Like, look, again, we can have different ideas, but if you're abandoning just basic human decency, I can't go with you on that, and I can't continue to just be silent about that and pretend that I still know who you are. And indeed, maybe you haven't really been the person I thought you were the whole time, because maybe you've been harboring some of these prejudices, and now in this polarized environment and where people are normalizing hateful speech and attitudes that are very judgmental and indeed dehumanizing, it seems like maybe these are your true colors, and maybe, you're not the person I thought you were. And indeed, it's not just about speech, right? It's about actions and consequences and actual marginalization or even criminalization of, being from a certain place or, holding certain points of view. So the stand that he's taking here, I think, is very well considered intellectually, very admirable ethically, and the way he expresses it is incredibly poetic. And again, that line about a burning bridge too far, that's one of my favorites I've heard in recent times. And we haven't even talked about the sonics yet. I love that grinding and yet melodic lead, like synth lead of the track, which it has melody, it has a bit of aura to it, but it's also grinding, it's also got grit, and it's like melodic glass being like ground on itself. And there's of course that driving kick drum, and the the lower end of the tune is very full and electric like most of his tracks. So it's very energetic, it's got a wicked aspect to it, but it is also, I think, uplifting. Like the sonics of the melody, they do have this kind of soaring quality, even as they're, again, a bit edgy at the same time. So I love the sonics, I love the message, I love the way it all comes together, and if this is reflective of the Null album, I am even more excited to get it. So once again, shout out to Kim, shout out to Chris, who's been following this deep dive as well. Do let me know what you think of this tune, and once again, we are moving into the final third now of the We Save Us playlist. I'm probably going to do one more in this batch tonight, maybe like 3 tomorrow, and I think that will leave 2, which I'll probably try to do Thursday night. So by Friday, we should have it all done. So thank you again to Kim for this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.